What is gender performance? In my own words, gender performance is pretty much our social way, like our social performances that make us feminine or masculine. So, one thing that I observed that was leaning more towards males or more appropriate for males was I saw a guy holding the door for a bunch of women. And that doesn't mean that like women don't hold the door for men, because I do. Like if I see somebody behind me, I will definitely hold the door for them, no matter what gender they are. But it's definitely more common to see a man, like a husband, a dad, a uncle, or whoever hold the door for women if they're right behind them. So that's one thing that I would consider more towards the male side. And then one thing that I saw for female was a woman holding a bunch of bags, like just a bunch of shopping bags. And that's also not saying that men don't do shopping, but usually when you see a woman shopping, she'll have a bunch of bags, not just one. So that was one thing that I noticed for the female side. Another thing that I saw for a male was when I was standing to check out at the store that I was at, this guy just like let out this huge burp, like super loud. And I feel like men usually will just like let those things out and they don't really care, but women are more like quiet about it and not really like out there as much. So I definitely classified that more towards the male side, and that definitely made me think that that would be like the more appropriate thing for a male. That doesn't mean like all males do it, but that's definitely what like my observation was. And then my last one for female was I saw a mother with her baby going into one of those little feeding rooms that they have at some stores. And I mean, dads definitely do feed their children, but I feel like those rooms are just more commonly used by women. So I was like, oh, that would definitely be a female one. So according to page 38 in our textbook, it talks about gender socialization, which is pretty much like from the beginning, like when we're born, we're pretty much taught by who we're raised by, what it means to personally and culturally and interpersonally be a female or a male. Meaning, like, I guess like my best example would be like what kind of toys you would play with, like Barbies or cars, or if you dress up in like Spider-Man or dresses, like things like that. I was brought up very much playing with the baby dolls, the Barbies, the doll houses, things like that. And my best comparison would be to my sister-in-law, who was raised the complete opposite. So she's into the opposite things as me, and she more plays with like the toys or like the sports that are considered more male, which is the opposite of me. I do not like being outside playing rough sports. So when you think about it, everybody's raised differently when it comes to what they grew up around. So even if if you're raised in more of a country setting, maybe you're going to be a female that loves fishing and loves being outside, loves camping. And there's also a lot of females that do not like any of those things. Like if you were to be raised more in like the city area, you may just like the shopping. So a stereotype that I can think of for males would be, I feel like a lot of people that are raised in the South, especially males, are very respectful in the way they talk to women or pretty much anybody in general. They have very good manners, which is actually something that I also observed. Was I could tell that they were Southern from their accent from somebody that I was observing, and they just had very, very respectful manners towards the cashier. Not saying that like people that don't live in the South like don't have manners, but I just feel like it's a lot more common.